Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the House of Shenanigans. Welcome back to the Canyon. Welcome back to another installment in the Quickview series. Quickview series that I do not know the German word for it. I do know what Schadenfreude is, which is enjoying the suffering of others, and perhaps you can experience that today. But mixed in with that, there's a little bit of a, what is it called when you enjoy the suffering of yourself because you're participating in a pattern of insanity, doing the same thing, expecting a different result. Yes, today we're on it again. We're on the nonsense train, and here's where the nonsense train leaves. This is Nonsensical Train Station. There's the name right there. Oh yeah, we know it. Boom Racing, the aggressor in. There's the little guy in Gekko Red. There's a red dot on there. Boom Racing, as in the past, we've tested 3 or 4 different tires, both sizes of Hustlers. We've tested a couple other Boom Racing tires. They are all categorically terrible. Some of the worst tires ever tested. But this is our first experiment and experience with Gekko Red as a compound, and you can't say that Boom Racing isn't trying. The insert that comes with these tires is a proper dual stage, machined inner, soft outer. Look how good that looks. We had to hit it with the heat gun because they were pretty mangled from getting shoved in the tires, but that looks okay. At the same time, it is a Boom Racing tire, and it has the Boom Racing hallmarks, which is, if you see a tire like this, you would think, well, this is direction of rotation. You could potentially get away with that, I suppose. So here is my perceived direction of rotation. Here's how we'll be mounting them. And you will see if we can get a focus. There you go. Traction. Arrow, right? Like that. Turn it around. Traction. Arrow. The opposite direction. Thanks, Boom Racing. Thanks for quite literally nothing. Because you have an arrow pointing one way, and an arrow pointing the other way. Which means, I don't know what it means. Because this is a directional, symmetrical tire. We can't claim that it's just the same mold twice, because if it was, one side of the tire would have tread facing the opposite direction of the other. So it's intentional. It's the run it whichever way you like. When I saw the directional, I saw it on this side first, and I thought, thank heavens and my lucky stars, because now no one can tell me to run it backwards. And I flipped it around and looked at the other side and said, Boom Racing, this betrayal will not go unchecked. I learned with these from mounting the previous ones, they are pretty tacky on the compound, but you only need the magical juice for one side. I need it on the inside. The magical juice, what's the magical juice, you say? It's bubble juice. It's literally the stuff that you blow bubbles with, but it's much easier to dispense it out of a container like that. I dipped a paintbrush in a big container, a 1 quart, a 1 liter bottle for several years, and then I was like, Dauber bottles. The drawback to which are, if you order Dauber bottles on Amazon, you have to buy 10 of them at a time. So I filled all 10 of them with bubble juice, and now I'm just gradually going through them. And to give you an idea, bubble juice just saves time and effort. And when you fill the bottle, it looks like this. And then after you've used it on tires for a little while, it looks like this. And then after you've used it on tires for a lot of a while, it looks like this. Yeah. Some of these will never have a bubble blown with them again because it's more release agent, whatever happens to be stuck to the tire. But introduce Bubble Juice into your life. If you have any tires that give you any difficulty at all in mounting them, it will expedite it. Some tires require liberal applications of Bubble Juice to get them to not fight you. I mean, here's the bona fide problem here. Much like what Pitbull experienced here, compound from Pitbull just doesn't work in my climate on my surface. But they don't look abjectly terrible. They're also really expensive, much like these. So they'd never really shown anything. 121, that's a 475. That's a 475 to the point where it is there. That is the line for 475. That's a 475. And these claim 475, 4 by 175. Let's see. I'd call it 46. So it's actually a little wider than that. About 1 millimeter wider. That is a side lug of raw aggression. Even if Gekko Red provides us with the same level of disappointment that we are familiar with the snail slime compound, Gekko Red should do well on self-righting, because that is a lug there. I don't want to do it, but we're going to do it. I don't want to do it. It's not a condemnation. There's a little bit of odd noise, but it's not. For frame of reference, well-worn canyon trail, right? Just a. If you get any tone to it that isn't our good buddies, Mixed Racing Pen. I don't know why. I don't know what it is specifically. But the Starsky has been like a 98%. There's been 1 or 2 tires that have given some good and still done well. But for the most part, you want the tire to be just... You want it to whisper. Boom Racing Aggressor 475 Gekko Red. This is a good one for me, because this is no negative outcomes. If this tire is terrible, we go, of course it is. Boom Racing tires are terrible. If it does anything past, and I mean this legitimately, past the cutoff mark for tire tests, which is a score of 93, a score below 93 is a tire that I would say, don't buy this. You have better options. 93 is this tire has an application which maybe isn't rock crawling. Do I think these are going to score above a 93? I have no idea. They are not inexpensive. Around $75 for a set of these. And mind you, they do come with dual stage inserts, so that does offset that cost a little bit. For even if the tires are egregiously bad, that dual stage feels pretty good. And it fills a 475 nicely. So I nevertheless have that trepidation that is associated with a tire test where, do I want them all to be good? Yeah. It kills me how many tires there are out there that are just bad. Please, Boom Racing, redeem yourself with your tires that were either running forward or backward. Give us something. And if I can ask for something a little extra, don't be a 93. Either be good or be truly bad, because nobody remembers the ones in the middle. I wish I had something to deliver to you from the drive back, but I don't know. It's got a big aggressive lug and a lot of open space. On dirt, it's going to do just fine. Straight at it. Okay. It's already better than any boom racing tire we've ever seen. The lug noise is significant and substantial. Also, the shoulder lug, the lug that I contend is the lug doing the work, is enormous and definitely in line with the name of the tire. There is some weirdness. I mean, it's not good, but it is less terrible. There we go. It will do the thing. And in the vein of boom racing tires, no boom racing tire has, to this point, done any one individual thing. As I said, oh, come on. Jeez. They're going to self-right great. They are going to improve their overall score by a couple tenths for sure. I can tell you the self-righting is going to be like an invisible magic claw that just whips you up off the ground. The amount of lug noise, the slip. So, the Aggressor is certainly a more aggressive tread pattern. So, of that C, of the 3 C's, that C is correct. Is the carcass correct to the compound? I can't say. It's far too early. I will say, they feel so erratic. When the side lugs catch, the grab is profound, and then you transition over to the rest of the lug, and there's just nothing. It is, in terms of drive profile, one of the most inconsistent tires I can recall. Like, I feel like Gekko Red is unquestionably better than Snail Slime. Like, we're getting some forward motion out of this. Hopefully, maybe the insert will seat into the tire a little better. We'll see something more come out of it, but we're going to start off on a 9.4. It doesn't feel like the insert is overly firm. Feels like it has decent support. Okay. Show me. Very nice. Right up until it isn't. So, in the spirit of the 3 C's, I'm not sure what this tread pattern is for. The tire does say Aggressor, so they hit that. I can almost feel, the different lugs fighting against each other. That side lug is almost... Have we answered a question? Have we answered a question of, is there such a thing as too much side lug? Maybe. Because we've already been upside down more than once. I didn't perceive any slip right there. Did I? There it is. There it is. We hit the lucky line on the first pass up. I hate to say it, but here we are. This is a 94 tire, unless, and we're just going to adjust it from there. Like, I haven't seen anything, certainly, to justify the cost. These cost the same per pair as a pair of 525 LP megalithics. I know that you would be fitting those to different applications, but these cost about $20 more than a set of regular megalithics, 475 megalithics. So, and that is the perfect tire for comparison here, because these tires, let's be honest about it, look ridiculous. So far, old Boom Racing appears to have gotten one of the C's right. I realize these look a lot like, they have the same kind of ridiculousness of the, what is it, the KLR MT with the big lug. It's like a mud tire. They don't refer to these in any of the nomenclature that I saw as a mud tire. Side lug grabbery. Nope. It's an instance of count the falls. Sometimes in a tire test you'll see falls because the tire is gripping so hard that we're going, well, let's go steeper, let's go deeper. This is not that. Yeah, a generous 9.4 there. So far, at least they're consistent. It does make it easier on the math, though, for sure. Yeah. Is this a mud tire? Doesn't really matter, does it? The J Concepts Fling King exists. Jeez, Alou. Drop it down even a little more. Ah, it is not a finisher. It is not a finisher. This is ultimately a victory for Boom Racing. And I'll look like one. It's ultimately a victory for Boom Racing because the Hustler is unconscionably bad. This tire is comfortably mediocre. It seems happier at like I can't finish that. At like medium high levels of throttle. It is not particularly responsive at all at low levels of throttle. So you end up feeding it more beans to try to get it to do something. I'll let you know. That's station 4. 6 more to go. I will let you know after wet where we land. But from here on, just assume every station is a 9.4. Consistency is a descriptor ordinarily associated with something positive. It's not in the word. It doesn't have to be. Something can be consistently bad. Something can be consistently mediocre. There is some fundamental aspect. There's something There's something at the core of not just the Boom Racing Aggressor, but Boom Racing tires as a category that they just got wrong. And let's not forget, as I said, around $75 a set. They have low precision. And keep in mind, this is by a wide margin the most capable Boom Racing tire we've seen. Certainly the first one in the 90s. But it's not just imprecise. The lug is too big for the compound. The lug is too big for the tire. So in terms of composition, they didn't get it right. Gekko Red is certainly making a better showing than Snail Slime has. But these tires do not finish. And someone would say, well, it looks more like an MT, it looks more like a mud tire. As I mentioned earlier, J-Concept's Fling Kings exist, and they climb rocks better than this, and we fully know they are not intended to be rock rolling tires. They are not rock rolling tires. These are the definition of below average. This is right in line with the level of performance we would anticipate from tires that cost $30 or less per set. Not $30 or more per pair. They cannot finish. The lack of stability and the inconsistency in motion. Yeah, this is the most 9.4 tire. Am I thinking? Yeah. If 9.3 is the absolute cutoff, these are somewhere between a 94 and a 93. They're not so bad that you should never buy them. Hey, looked almost all right. Yeah, they really love that mid to high throttle level. It's pretty straight on the bump. It's pretty straight on the bump. And this is why I say just assume it's a 9.4 across the board, because it was a little worse at one aspect and a little better in another. And if you have a 9.3 and a 9.5, what's the average? Sounds like it's 9.4. It has done nothing to break out of its own mold. Actually, I expected more whippy, snappy action, really. Because we get right up there. Yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. That was above a 9.4. What we saw at the Beast was below a 9.4. Yeah, on the whip, if you get some wheel speed into this tire, yeah, it would be enough. Like, I would put that like a 9.7 on the self-right. It's aggregates, man. We're averaging it out. That's has shown me nothing that it isn't a sub 9.4. And if there's a place that these should excel, it should be here. That is a bright, harsh morning light. There we go. There we go. Chop. Little chopped sections. Pretty good. Kind of rides on top of the lug. That's side lug aggression. When is side lug too much? Maybe these. These are the Bizarro Universe Deluxe Iron Rock. The Iron Rock with no side lug, and these with all the side lug. So, in terms of transition, are these better than a 9.4? Yeah. That's a big lug. That big lug can carve. Are these flippier and floppier than most tires? And like I said, that outer on the dual stage is not a medium. It's a soft. The lug, because the lug is so big, it has effectively rendered the carcass stiffer. Like, it stiffens up the carcass. So like, remember I said they got about one of the C's right? They got 1.5 C's right, because Gekko Red seems less terrible. Not enough to save it though. And so we end where we began. Slick Rock, the beginning and the end of all things. Have these gotten better since we started? No. No, they have not. As a matter of fact, to get a little dirt up in them, they're looking a little more boom racing than ever. I mean, it's a shame, is what it is. It's an absolute shame. Like, if they only fitted these tires to vehicles that they sell, it would almost be forgivable. I mean, RTR tires are, for the most part, poor. These are tires that they intend people to buy, to use them for things like crawling on rocks. These ain't them, man. These ain't the ones. Now, we have every opportunity. We have every opportunity right now to keep them a 94 even, or drag them down. Drag them down. Presented without commentary. So I delved deep into extrapolation, interpolation, and I looked at the database. And these tires were sitting on a 94, soft 94, a gratuitous 94, realistically low 93s, and then on wet, that's a 5 wet. Like, you could give it a 6 maybe. So we should be down around the area of around a 90 even, between a 90 and a 91. 90 is a territory without a lot of tires on it. The Pin Seeker, the Fake Approach, the Tiger Dog Honor, it was better than those. The Duratrax Approach, the 2.2 Showdown, the G-Made Bighorn, the 1.9 Mickey Thompson Baja Boss MT in R35. Those tires are all in the high 91s, low 92s. Also in the low 92, the OGRC Road tire. The Proline Grunt. Yeah. Honestly, let's slot these right in because it's sub 93 and it doesn't even really matter. Let's sub these in at a 92.5. I think that isn't. We have to get interpolative. We have to interpolate at this point because the database holds around 170 tires, something like 170, 175 tires on it. At this point, it's impossible not to compare them against something else. Now, are they better than the Boom Racing Hustler and Snell Slime, which scored a 62.5, and the 2.2 Boom Racing Hustler, which scored a 68.6? Yeah, a 92.5 is amazing for Boom Racing. Is it good? No. Should you buy these? Absolutely not. Regardless of your application. Whether it be rocks, trails, mud, cricks, backwoods, concrete, whatever your application is, there is a tire that will do it better than this one for less money. Boom Racing Aggressor, Gekko Red, 92.5. Consider that a score of generosity. We saw moments where I almost thought, my goodness, they've done it. They've made a mediocre tire. And then that fell away. Terrible on wet. Really only responds to medium to high levels of throttle. Okay on dirt, but kind of what isn't. So, there you go. Some nice foams, though. Came with some nice foams. That's all I got. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for joining us here in the Canyon for this one. We do indeed hope to see you in the next one. And in between now and then, please, one and all, do your very best. Have a good one, everybody. We will see you again here from the Canyon real soon. Boom Racing. Someday, we'll hope they get it mostly right. But we're not holding our breath. Because we don't want to asphyxiate. Maybe next time.